Hola, amigos. Brad Evans here with another Bring the Noise. I'm answering all your various fantasy football and sports betting questions here for the next 30, 40 minutes. Oh, what convenient timing. It is halftime in Sprechen Sie Deutsch, way across the pond in Germany as the Kansas City Chiefs are rocking and rolling out to a 21-0 lead. Miami is yet to convert a third down, which is so very uncharacteristic. Fantasy expectations really souring right now for the Miami Dolphins in this game, but their second half and has garbage time already commenced? It's quite possible. So Tua Tagovailoa is going to be chucking it up a ton. If you want to explore maybe some live player props on Tua passing yards, I wouldn't hate or dissuade you from wagering on that over. Tyreek Hill should have a nice second half, and hopefully Jalen Waddle can stay healthy. He's been in and out of the lineup all day long. Or Raheem Mostert completely absent, but still, Patty Mahomes nearly cashing in on the over 2.5 passing touchdowns in the first half. Pair of end zone strikes. One to Rashee Rice and the other one to Jerick McKinnon. So spreading the love around, even though Travis Kelce not having the most spectacular effort there in Germany. But Kansas City up 21-0 in that game. Again, I'm here to answer your question, so lock and load those bad boys right now. I'm going to race through your comments and questions here momentarily ahead of the main slate of NFL Week 9 games. You can do so via three ways. Right there at the bottom of your screen, on Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, or on YouTube at the Feed the Noise channel. If you try to submit your questions via the X, they're never really giving it to me because there are some kind of obstacles that are built in there that does not allow me to see your questions and comments in real time. Way back in the day, our early days of StreamYard, that was a feature that was available, but no longer, unfortunately. So got to use the Facebook, the Twitch, or YouTube at those three handles to get your questions and comments submitted. I will see them in the program, and I will quickly answer them as fast as humanly possible, as I usually do. Also, if you don't get your question answered, of course, there's more here every single NFL Sunday. I have the Sunday Stream Spectacular with my brother from another mother. That is Tank Williams, playing the NFL as a strong safety for a number of years with the Minnesota Vikings, Tennessee Titans, and for a hot minute, the New England Patriots. We're going to be on the Bleacher Report app, so you got to download that bad boy on your phone. Just join us. We're going to give your our booms, busts, and bangs for every single NFL Week 9 game and answer your questions as well. So we do that every single Sunday for like 45 minutes. So it's like 2 hours of straight talk for me, but I'm used to it. I'm the big noise. I'm hardly sheepish, and I love football Sundays. I also love basketball Mondays as the NCAA season gets underway tomorrow. I can always see all of my picks 100% free, 100% accessible, and 100% transparent on the X via the Google Doc that I set up years ago at Noisy Huevos. Again, at Noisy Huevos. If you want my NFL picks, they're all locked and loaded in there. It's the same document that I update every single week, so just bookmark the link. I have college football picks. Been a bit of a roller coaster ride that sport, but we finished up units barely last night, and we got college basketball tipping off. Oh, it's so glorious tomorrow as every single team, I believe, is in action. There are a lot of craptastic matchups that are out there, but hey, there are betting opportunities. All right, let's go ahead and get to my abbreviated edition of my favorite player props today. At numero tres, Baker, the moneymaker, I feel, is going to be on the ground against the Texans. Give me the over on 10.5 rush yards. We've seen some movement in this line. This is what it opened at. It jumped all the way up to 11.5, and I was scaled back to where it originated at that 10.5 line at BetMGM at minus 115. And I am highly recommending taking it because I'm already on it as well. You look at Baker Mayfield, has been deceptively effective on the ground. 4.4 attempts per game is what he is averaging, and also averaging 16.9 rush yards per game. He's been over this prop in 5 of 7 contests this season. And you look at Houston, middle of the pack and pressure rate at 22.3%, number 18 in the National Football League. But 5 guys have gone over this at the quarterback position on the ground versus the Texans. And they've given up 17.1 rush yards per game to opposing quarterbacks this year. So little boot scooting boogie from Baker Mayfield. I think he will be an opportunistic runner, or maybe times 3 in this game, and hit that over 10.5 rush yards on the road in H-Town. Somebody rocking, knocking the boots. Yeah, old school 90s there, if you understand that reference. Numero dos here, the player props market. I just posted the Sledgehammer special. Daddy want, daddy need, daddy gotta have it. I am a sledgehammer. And Jonathan Taylor. And I have a lengthy explanation on the X. Also posted on Instagram at Team Huevos is the handle there. I have it as well on Threads at Team Huevos, or on the X at Noisy Huevos. So I'm going to give you an abbreviated take here. I just love the rush yards prop on him. I would even play this in the alt market. The standard line is up to 67.5. I grabbed it when it opened earlier this week at 64.5. There is a decent shot he could run for a hundo. Now, I know Shane Steichen has come out and said, hey, we're going to ride the hot hand. But I believe Jonathan Taylor is going to have some fiery fingers today on the road in Charlotte, taking on the Panthers, who are clawless, who are toothless, who are downright bad against the run. They are dead last in the NFL in EPA rush defense, specifically giving up 5.07 yards per carry, 126.7 yards per game on the ground. That's just rush yards per game to running backs. 5 guys have gotten over this number against them. And you look at Taylor, he's got 30 rush attempts the last couple of games. He's been over this threshold 4 times this season, and he is numero cuatro among all eligible and qualifying NFL running backs in yards after contact per attempt. According to Pro Football Focus, that number at 3.95, rather gaudy, rather heighty there as well. So I think he's going to plow through the defensive line of Carolina with relative ease. I think he's going to get the majority of carries. So Zach Moss is going to spell him probably a dozen times in this game, but I think it's at least 15 or more totes, balls to the belly. And if he gets that, easily racing past, I feel, 67.5 rush yards. And again, if you want to take this as a ladder, as an escalator wager at 70 yards, at 80 yards, at 90 yards, at 100 yards, I don't hate that strategy at all. Could be a big, big day on the road for Jonathan Taylor. One last point, too. The Colts, they play pew, 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 that kind of speed of offense. Well, the fastest, I believe they're number 1 in pace of play of any team in the league right now. So that only feeds into the probability of this one cashing. So Jonathan Taylor over 67.5 rush yards at Carolina, minus 115. At BetMGM. And numero uno for me. I like it just even slightly more than Jonathan Taylor, who I already wielded my little friend on. I like Dallas on Dallas Crimes, and that being Goddard against the Cowboys. And on this SGP, I bet it'll BetMGM. Come with me if you like it. I took Goddard 4 more receptions, and then correlate, synergize, and bring it all together. I think he's going to get at least 45 or more yards as a result. And you get that plus money, plus 110 specifically. Again, at BetMGM, it's all about him lining up in the slot, and no tight end in the league lines up in the slot more than Dallas Goedert. Entering here week number 9, he's averaging 5.9 targets per game. He is top 3 in yards after the catch. He has done both these thresholds in a game 2 times, so it's not unfathomable. He can do it thrice. And he's all about Jordan Lewis in the slot, who is a primary slot DB for Dallas. This is what he has allowed this season, a 64.7% catch rate and a 136 flat passer rating. Yikes. To his assignments. Dallas on top of that, giving up 4.6 receptions and 46 yards per game to the tight end position. So the secret weapon in the afternoon slate, I believe, is going to be Dallas Goedert against the boys. That's why I'm on this SGP. Goddard 4 more receptions. Goddard 45 or more yards. Plus 110 at BetMGM. I think he's a surefire top 5 tight end play in fantasy this week. And again, I love him in the player props market. Reminder, submit your questions right now via the Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, or on the YouTube at the Fade the Noise channel. And make sure you download the Bleacher Report app onto your cellular device. Tank Williams and I, hair very optional for both of us, going to be on there breaking down our booms, our busts, and our bank picks for every single remaining game today. We're not going to touch the Monday night game, but watch live and line Monday through Friday at noon Eastern time on Stadium, or you can check us out on the Valley Sports RSNs in your region. That's all sports betting all the time. We're going to be heavily discussing Jets and Chargers tomorrow, along with the college basketball slate, some NBA, maybe even working some hockey. Anything you can bet on is a possibility. It's Steelers' choice. Steeler call it. That's how I created the show and how we conduct it every single episode. Make sure you watch live on the line, and make sure you download the Bleacher Report app, because the Sunday stream spectacular with Tank Williams and I commencing about 45 minutes only on that app. All right, let's go ahead and get to your questions right now here on the Bringing the Noise AMA. And teeing it off is Coda saying, should I play the Dallas defense against the Philadelphia Eagles, fly Eagles fly, or Cleveland against Arizona? Look, when you're streaming defenses, you have to maximize a matchup. Clayton Tune in his first NFL start under center for Arizona, that's your quarterback. And that's all the reason you need to play the Cleveland Browns, who have been spectacular in some of the advanced analytics that are out there, especially the EPA data. They're still number one in EPA per play defense. They've been largely shut down. I know, the Indianapolis Colts really tore them apart with that speed of play. But this game being at home, and again, Tune in his first ever NFL start, probably going to make a couple of mistakes in this game. I got to go with the Cleveland Browns over the Cowboys against one of the best offenses in the NFL in Philadelphia. Ezekiel says, hey, I think Cleveland will win by 8 points. I think it's entirely doable. I don't think that's a trap. I mean, you got a bit of a wild card here in Clayton Tune. Is it going to come out like a deer in headlights, or is he going to come out unfazed? I'd say anyone's best guess. He still has Marquise Brown, but you have no DeMarcado. He's out of lineup. Very thin at running back. Keontae Ingram going to get the start for Arizona in this game. I mean, my gut feeling, my sensibilities, just common sense in general suggests that Cleveland should win this game by double figures, but it's the NFL. Total crapshoot. What you could do is take this down to like 6.5 on SGP, and then take the total up and then slam that under. It's something that is somewhat comfortable. Take total up like 4 or 5 points, get it at close to plus money as a result. And that is, building a little safety first, the way to play it. That's why the SGP market can be useful at times, because you have so many alternative thresholds that you can put together and get it at plus money. Pro handicappers are going to tell you, oh, that's such an unsuggestible move. That's a deplorable suggestion overall. You're not getting any kind of value. You're giving that value away. Why don't you just bet singular wagers, even if it's like minus 120, minus 150 juice? I mean, they have an argument, but for me, I want to reduce the juice, and I want to get seduced by that juice. And again, I have a track record that shows it can be profitable. Win some, lose most. That's what I subscribe to. But we are up in units this year, playing a lot of SGPs in NFL and college football. And of course, I did in Major League Baseball. I did it in college basketball last season. And those two sports, 90 plus unit finish, and I'm not making shit up. Again, all of my work is available and accessible. And every single bet that I post on the spreadsheet, there is real hard money behind it. So I would SGP it. But if you just want to play the standard line, yes, I lean Cleveland and the -8. Steve says, Migo, PPR need one of these in a flex. Hollywood, Marquise Brown, Romeo Dobbs, or Devin Singletary against the Bucs. I'm going to go with Devin Singletary. It's all about maximizing the volume, that V word, as he is going to be the main man with Dameon Pierce ruled out. I think, Singletary, here's a wager that I actually made. I took the over on rush attempts for him. I think the number was at like 13 and a half. I think he's got to have 15 carries in this game, probably catch a couple of balls as well. And as you know, if Houston is knocking at the door and, possibly going to plunge one in for 6, who's going to get ball to belly? It's going to be Devin Singletary. He's going to get some opportunities. And that in and of itself is quite alluring. Good luck to you. Aubrey says, hola, hola to you. Half point PPR need a wide receiver 2 and a flex. Puka with Brett Rippon drawing the start for the LA Rams. Moore, Metcalf, Aaron Jones, James Cook. I still go with Puka. Nakua, it could be a high volume situation. Rippon has looked decent at times in the past, whether with Broncos or for a brief moment with the LA Rams. And obviously, Cooper Kupp is going to draw a lot of attention. So you get maybe some single coverage opportunities in that matchup for LAR. And as a result, Nakua, I think, can win a lot of those. He just has a knack for finding the open space. And, Green Bay, they traded Rasul Douglas this week. So that secondary is very thin. I would still take advantage with him. So give me Puka. And then for the other one, same game, different name. I'm going to go Aaron Jones. The franchise, the coaching staff has come out and said, hey, we got to get him more involved. We got to feed him the rock. Obviously, he's had to nettle some hamstring injury that's limited in action last like a month, it seems like. But he claims he's at or near 100%. This could be a get right spot for Aaron Jones. So give me Jones and Nakua. Good luck to you, Aubrey. Bill says, hey, Brad, start 2 in a PPR. Douglas of the New England Patriots, Rashid Shaheed, Gabe Davis, or Jordan Addison. Oh, man. And Addison's a tough one with Jaron Hall getting the start. His first NFL start for the Minnesota Vikings. Another guy like Clayton Tune, complete wild card. Another greenhorn. I go Shaheed for 1. Higher floor to PPR, honestly, probably belongs to Douglas, but I would still go Addison, knowing that ceiling is so stratospheric. So if you're chasing ceiling, go Addison and Shaheed. If you're chasing more of a floor, go Shaheed and Douglas. But again, I recommend Team Huevos, not Team Raisins action. So I would go with Addison and Shaheed. Jimmy says Jake Ferguson or Taysom Hill full PPR. Taysom Hill, what version we going to get? It's going to be more of the runner, more of the catcher today. The Bears, believe it or not, are number 3 in the NFL in EPA rush defense. They've been outstanding in that capacity, giving up well south of 4 yards per carry. I think Hill's going to get the usual, 4 to 5, maybe even upwards of 6 rush attempts in this game. I think he's got to crack 20 yards on the ground. That's why I wagered on the over 15.5 rush yards. So, the curveball is how many balls will he actually catch? Who the hell knows? The Bears secondary is a punchline. It's a joke. They're god awful. I'm going to go with Ferguson and a potential shootout affair, slight advantage over Taysom Hill. Corey says, hola, Brad. Hola, Corey. 2 leagues PPR, Lockett, Pop, or Puka. I don't know who Pop is. And my dad's not recommended. I'm going to go Lockett slight edge over Puka. Devontae Smith, puke. I don't ever puke. I know you mean Puka, not Puka. So Devontae Smith, Puka Nakua, or James Cook. I will diversify the portfolio here. I know I kind of like Nakua, just made a case for him, but give me Devontae Smith, slight edge over the other 2 guys there. So Lockett and Smith for me. Good luck, Corey, and please don't barf. Ezekiel says Buffalo D or Jets D. I'm going to go with the Jets D, honestly. Buffalo is just ragged right now. So many holes, and, teams are taking advantage of them. A lot of vulnerabilities there right now. Rose says Dotson or Rashid Shaheed. Rashid Shaheed for me. Again, the Bears, I believe, are next to last in EPA pass defense on the season, and all Shaheed does is get explosive gains on pass plays, get some action too and in rounds, and maybe able to contribute 10 to 15 rush yards as well. So I like the upside of Shaheed a little bit more. Ryan says PPR need 2, Kupp, DJ Moore, or Hubbard. It's Kupp and Hubbard for me. Jimmy says pick 2 at a full point PPR, Godwin, Cooper, or Puka. Go with the first 2, Godwin and Cooper. Brian says, aloha, dude. Mahalo, my man. PPR, need one more or Myers, Jacoby Myers, please, with Aiden O'Connell at start. Behind center for the Las Vegas Raiders. And by the way, God, what an ugly week for quarterbacks. It really is. I'm in a super flex league, multiple super flex leagues. And at the beginning of the season, I punted quarterback more or less. And I'm trotting out, and I have been all year long, Baker Mayfield and CJ Stroud. And they've done me well. And I thought, oh, man, I might have to trade up. But looking at the landscape right now, the turnover of the position, I'm feeling like I'm in a great position overall with Stroud and Baker Mayfield. Who would have thunk it? Robert says, hola, you jackwagon. Oh, hey, you jackwagon. Daddy wants, daddy needs, daddy gotta know. Little twist there on the sledgehammer. Phrase that pays. Puka Nakua, Tank Dell, or Chuba Hubbard. Again, I'm going to go with the volume there. And Chuba Hubbard probably going to catch 2 to 4 balls as well. Maybe 15 plus yards for Chuba Hubbard in that capacity. Decent shot for him to find the end zone as well. And what could be a higher scoring affair than some people believe against the Colts, given that pace of play, that up and down style, run and gun. JR says Thomas or Downs and Goddard or Kincaid. Love Goddard. Love Kincaid. Lucky 7 situation. I don't think you can really lose with either of those guys. I lean slightly to Goddard. Again, my number one player prop play, 4 more receptions, 45 more yards at plus money at BetMGM. Decent shot. He finds the end zone as well. And I'm going to go with Downs. I know he was banged up, but on track to play today, according to Adam Schefter at ESPN, and he has been a receptions, a catch compiler. Hockey Nut 41, full point PPR need 2. Nico Collins in my lineup. And then who's the number 2? DJ Moore, Hollywood, or Jacoby Myers. I go Myers. Wow. Yeah, I'm not remotely going to answer that. Grant Sambo, Downs knee, or Brian Robinson in a PPR. Thanks, Brad. Let's see. Brian Robinson, Downs knee, PPR. Really tough call here. I'm going to go with B-Rob. I think he's going to get probably 12 to 14 carries today. And then there is a potential here. He's been active as a pass catcher. It would not be remotely surprising that he gets, maybe 3-4 receptions. I think it's a higher floor for Robinson, but the floor is somewhat similar to Downs. And then Robinson, you get that goal line work if the Commanders can be a goal to go kind of team. So, yeah, I tell you what, give me Brian Robinson, slimmest of margins over Downs. Roger says PPR need 2, Hubbard, Pollard, Henderson, or Madison. Give me Hubbard for 1, and then give me Pollard for the other one. A lot of catch potential there. Hola, sir. Hola to you. Need 2, please, out of Ramondo. Chuba, Rashad White, and Keontae Ingram, full point PPR gracias. I'm going to go with Stevenson for 1, and I'm going to go slight advantage of Rashad White. Could be a 3 to 5 catch kind of game. Jimmy says last one, KJ Osborne or Jackson Smith and Jigba. Full point PPR, Smith and Jigba for me. Got to go with a more competent and proven passer in my estimation. Sean says, hola, amigo, hola to you. Bye week whammy, need 3 in a full point PPR. Tank Dell, Royce Freeman, Deontay Foreman. Looks like Johnson from the Bears and Douglas from New England. I kind of like Douglas in a full point PPR, so he is in. If you need 3, Tank Dell for 2, and then here's your wild card. Oh, baby, rev the engine on the Rolls Royce. I wrote about him as a fantasy flame potential participant today. I think the Rams are going to really feature the ground game heavily, and you worry back some of the stack fronts. But Green Bay is number 25 in EPA rush defense. I think Freeman, gut feeling, 50 yards and a touchdown, entirely possible. Roger says PPR, Jacoby Myers or Demario Douglas. I'm going to go with Jacoby Myers. Ryan says RB2 to PPR. Jerome Ford or Darrell Henderson. Jerome Ford ever so slightly. Hola, amigo, from the only Sutton. Hola to you. Half point PPR, Zay Flowers or Tank Dell today. As always, thank you for making time to do this. Yeah, my pleasure. And again, you can get additional insights on the Bleacher Report app here in 30 minutes. Make sure to download it on your device. I'm going to go with Zay Flowers, and hopefully he doesn't have like a clunker game. Really disappointing last week. Similar to what's going on across the pond right now in Germany, 21-0, Kansas City, with 9:57 to go in the third quarter. Could be a miserable, ugly occurrence and finish for a lot of the player prop action I have in that game. Greg Slack says, ILL. What a come from behind win with the backup quarterback coming cold off the bench and throwing strikes. Way to go, Paddock. Punishing the Minnesota Golden Gophers, Illinois, probably getting the victory there in the end. Oh, we're clinging by the tips of our fingers to some bowl game hopes. Maybe it's a Little Caesars Bowl in Detroit. And if it is, maybe I'll go. Why the hell not? I kind of like Little Caesars in Detroit, man. Hey, I always have a good time when I'm in that city. ILL, Dubs or Singletary at flex, says Greg Slack. I am going to go with Singletary. And again, I think it's 15 carries. I think it's 2 to 4 receptions. Decent shot at touchdown today. Key says, hola and bonjour, amigo. Yes. Oh. Pretty much the same decision every week. A pick 2 and a 9 PPR. Gabe Davis, roller coaster ride. Never know what you're going to get. DK Metcalf, Chris Olave is in my lineup, or Flowers. Again, in a 9 PPR, that kind of changes the dynamic on Flowers tremendously. Who's got more touchdown appeal between Davis and Metcalf? Could be a shootout affair between the Bills and the Bengals tonight in the Queen City. And you look at the match for DK Metcalf against the Ravens. I tell you what, I would take my chances with Gabe Davis in a PPR. Definitely Olave in there against my Chicago Bears. May have the number 1, number 2 overall picks this year. Richard says, who are your tight end plays this week? Wow, that's an open-ended question. I tell you what, are you looking for like a deep, crazy sleeper? Really isn't all that nutty. Donald Parham on Monday night. I think there is a decent shot that he splashes 6. I was doing some research on him for tomorrow's Live on the Line episode. He is going to be my anytime touchdown play at plus 300 at BetMGM. And the reason being is this. He is a guy that has 17 total targets, or 19 total targets, this season. And of those 19 total targets, 7 have come in the red zone. He's got 4 touchdowns, and no team has allowed more tight end touchdowns this season than the New York Jets. So if, Justin Herbert moves the chains, they're within striking distance of the goal line. I think Parham at 6'8" is going to post up in the end zone. Herbert could find him. Entirely see that happening because you're working away from the cornerbacks in those situations, which is really a huge strength of that Jets defense. So there you go. There's a deep sleeper to keep in mind. Fred Shepard says 1 point PPR, Nico Collins or Jacoby Myers. Bounce back week for Nico. It's about to go nuclear. He's packed with plutonium. Big fan of him today. Hola, Brad. Hola to you, Todd. Who would you start a tight end out of Taysom Hill or Jake Ferguson? Again, I'm going to go ever so slight a lean on Jake Ferguson over Taysom Hill because, again, we just don't know what version of Taysom Hill the player we're going to see. Is it going to be more the runner, the receiver? Anyone's best guess. Looking good, Brad. Nobody's ever said that, Kevin, but thank you. Ryan says Addison or Puka Nacua. Again, both dealing with the same downsides. Their quarterback. Brett Rippon, who does have some experience, or Jaron Hall, who doesn't have any experience. I'm going to go with a guy who's got just a smidge of experience and give me Puka Nacua tied to Brett Rippon. Joe says, morning, sir. Goddard or Kincaid? I'm going to go with Dallas Goddard. But again, it's a lucky 7 situation. I think both of these guys going to have double-figure fantasy production. Elsewhere, Sean says, Una Mas, full PPR flex, needing one between Boyd, Dell, and Reed. I kind of like Jaden Reed. Sleeping so nicely. Could really wake up and lay a thump on the competition. Slot coverage has been extremely problematic for the Rammies this year. So Jaden Reed, he's a name to keep in mind. Minshew INT plus 106, according to Addison. Yeah, seems entirely possible. Allen INT minus 135. Less on Allen, more on Minshew, especially at plus money. And again, high possession kind of game. Maybe throws one, errantly to Michael Pittman. Pittman can't corral it. Tips it, that just floats up in the air, gets plucked for an INT. Entirely see that happening. Good luck to you there, Addison. Steve Juice, any prop bets for Clayton Tune over under interceptions? I haven't seen anything, but it's got to be sky high. I bet it's like minus 200, somewhere in that vicinity. Hang on, I got a search engine up. I can tell you right now. Interceptions thrown, minus 160 to minus 233 on Clayton Tune at the various sports books. The best odds right now on FanDuel at minus 160. Maybe parlay that with something. Reduce the juice, get seduced by the juice. I tell you what, I kind of like Clayton Tune over on rush yards. He is a mobile guy. I think that number is sitting in like 15 and a half, 16 and a half, something like that. Take that with an INT, and you get that at plus money at FanDuel Sportsbook. Corey says, hola! 2 leagues, PPR, Puka. Oh, wait a minute. I already answered that one, that random pop one. I also answered this one from Keith already. Good luck to you, Keith. Enjoy Francais. Zachary says, good morning, Brad. Kareem Hunt or Devin Singletary? I'm going to go with Hunt. I have Hunt for anytime touchdown. I think it's going to be a positive game script for the Cleveland Browns in this contest. Yeah, he's going to split action with Jerome Ford, but it could be like 60-ish yards and a touchdown in the end for Hunt. Hit those likes, people. Yeah, please smash the like button. Give me a thumbs up. I'm trying to help you out. Win some money. Get you a dub in Fantasyland. You know, we're getting into crunch time right now. And whether or not you're going to be on pace for the playoffs or you're going to be out of the second season. JR says one more, Nakua or T. Higgins. Give me T. Higgins. Lambu says, huevos. Kincaid or Pitts in a standard PPR. God, Pitts has got to have a game. He just has to. But I don't necessarily believe in him because I don't necessarily believe in Taylor Heineke. I'm going to go with Kincaid. Steve says, a question for the future. Do you have any thoughts on Justin Jefferson returning this season? Yeah, it's anyone's best guess right now. There was a report yesterday from Adam Schefter saying that, he could return to practice soon, but they could bring him along slowly. I think it's all going to be determined by Dobbs' performance here in the very near future. If he comes out and looks respectable and Minnesota's like, hey, we're just going to, push a sack of chips in. We're going to go for this. Then they're going to get him back on track and have him ready to go. But if Dobbs comes out, falls flat in his face immediately, and obviously he's not going to be taking snaps today, they may reassess and just rest Jefferson rest of the season. So it is a very murky situation, as you described. Nobody has any real clue on what Jefferson's going to do. So, it's a bit of a dice roll and certainly a gamble on trading for him or counting on him rest of season. That's just my 2 cents there. Greg says, Pop is Douglas from the Patriots. Thank you for educating me. I didn't know that was his nickname. Fred says, Nico, Jacoby Myers, or Kincaid. Give me Nico. Again, I like him quite a bit. Keith says, Olan Bonjour again. Looks like my 2 QB Stafforders aren't going to start. All I got left is Hall or Super Bajan, man. No, I wouldn't go with Bajan. I would take the chances on Hall. And maybe he can, chuck one deep to Jordan Addison. Addison can just, turn on the speed and take it to the house. That's what you're hoping for. And Hall will get you some rush yards as well. So there is that upside to boot. Steve says, defensive question, need one. Atlanta D versus the Vikes or New England against Washington Texans versus the Bucks. Give me New England, please. But wait, there's more. Yeah, just a reminder. I'm coming up here on Bleacher Report starting at noon Eastern time. Derek says, amigo, Jones, Moss, Dobbs, or Daryl Henderson. Aaron Jones, please. Ken says, Ola Brad, need one player in a full point PPR. Gabe Davis, CJ Moore, James Cook. I'm going to go with Gabe Davis, slight advantage there. And he needs 2 additional players. So give me Davis and give me, in a PPR, give me Douglas. There you go. Good luck to you there. Derek says, amigo, need 2.5 point PPR. Give me Jones, Henderson, Moss, or Dobbs. I believe I already answered this. I think I went with Jones. And I tell you what, I'll go with Daryl Henderson. He will see some action splitting some time there with Royce Freeman. Oh, my God. We got a touchdown? Oh, and of course, it's to a random dude that nobody was remotely thinking about or had in their fantasy starting lineup. Tua to Cedric Wilson for a 31-yard TD strike. 21-6 right now in Germany. So that really didn't help anybody out unless you had Tua Tagovailoa, which I do in a couple leagues. Fred says pick 3 in a PPR. Olave, Nico. Yes, both are in. So who's number 3? I actually go with Kincaid over Myers. Isioma says, hola, senor. Hola to you. PPR league. Need 2. Josh Downs, Michael Thomas, Christian Watson, Quentin Johnston. No. Wandale. No. Michael Gallup. No. So in a PPR, it's got to be Downs and Michael Thomas. Watson's just not getting the workload. Thanks for the help. Yeah, no problem, Fred. Noon says, hola, amigo. Hola to you. Full point PPR, Higbee or Smith from Atlanta. Give me Jonnu Smith. John says, no question, off to 7-1. Thanks to you. No, man, don't give me any credit. You're the one who sets the lineup. I just give you some shoddy opinions. And congrats on the success. Nice shirt. Yeah, old school NBA jam. Little Alfonso, little Dikembe, Fengu Wag, Mutombo. Hey, basketball season's here. I love it. This time of year is great. I had a 20-leg parlay. I won them all except for Notre Dame. Yeah, kind of crazy. Way to go, Clemson, I guess. Would have been $1.7 thousand. Horrible, just horrible. Hey, J-Red, it sucks. But when you have a 20-leg parlay, one is bound to miss. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate, but keep on firing, my man. Jay says, Schultz or Logan Thomas. Give me Logan Thomas. Bill says, Pitts or Ferguson. I'll go Pitts. Jimmy says, well, out for a while, would you rather want who would you rather want in a full point PPR for the rest of the year? Logan Thomas or Jake Ferguson? Logan Thomas. Hazel says, need a flex. Hunt, Ford, Madison, Standard. Give me Kareem Hunt. Again, I fired off a ticket for him at anytime touchdown at plus 145. At DraftKings, it's like plus 188 at Caesars, which is an extraordinary value. Bill says, Superflex, you always go quarterback at Superflex, even in a PPR. Even if the receptions were 2 points, I'm taking Geno Smith. J-Red says, Ferguson or Thomas? Is that Lance or is that Michael? Or Logan? Logan Thomas. That's what I meant, not Lance. Give me Logan over Ferguson if that is the right Thomas. Jeremy says, my brother in Christ. Sure. If you think I'm that kind of guy. I'm absolutely screwed with Jimmy G and Kyler Murray as my second quarterback in a super flex. Who would you go for a high upside play between Crowder, Charbonnet, or Rippin? It's Rippin. Look, folks, if you're in a super flex format and you have a choice between a quarterback or like, say, a secondary or not even tertiary wide receiver option, I always lean quarterback. You're going to get some guaranteed points unless Rippin goes out there, throws a pick, first snap of the game, wrenches an ankle, and he's donezo. I mean, that could happen, but pretty far-fetched. So give me Burt Rippin. Willie says, Mayfield or Howell in my super flex. Sam Howell for me. That is my play there. All right, looks like I have exhausted all of your questions. But wait, there's going to be more of this jackass along with legendary NFL safety Tank Williams. Watches both. We have a good time. We motored through a ton of games, ton of picks, ton of your questions on the Bleacher Report app starting at noon Eastern time. So in like 15 minutes, just download that bad boy, fire it up, and you're going to see his beautiful face and this ugly dome yet again. All our booms, busts, and banks on the Sunday Stream Spectacular. Tune in. And make sure you download that app right now. Also, watch me on Live and Line alongside Danny Kleppinger, Cameron Smith, our whole cast of characters. Tank's on Thursday. Senior Fun Buns joins us every single Friday on Live on the Line. There's no other sports betting show like it. I promise you that. It's at noon Eastern on the Bally Sports RSNs and on Stadium. You can stream the show at watchstadium.com/live. watchstadium.com/live. Monday, we'll break down Jets and Chargers, all of our favorite player props in that game. I'll have an SGP with a side and total, and as well, opening night of the college basketball season. I guarantee you Cam's going to have some NBA player props that he's in on, maybe working a couple of hockey plays. We don't really leave any stones unturned, and Danny Kleppinger is going to be joining us from Parlez-vous Français, where she's covering some tennis action. So she'll have some wagers on that as well. So tune in to Live on the Line noon Eastern on the Valley Sports RSNs and Stadium on Monday. And we do that every Monday through Friday. Best of luck to you in week number 9. Can we get some more scoring, please? In Chiefs Dolphins. And until next time, adios, amigos.